Close your eyes, palms together. Sit comfortably. Seek the blessing from the gods and the goddess and all your gurus. Once you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay, today let's start today's class. Again, we are going to learn about Saturn only today. Okay, before we starting our class, stay at the screen for at least 30 seconds. Anybody saying something? Okay, let's move on. Okay, before we entering into learning about today's class, let's learn something new. I thought to discuss about the Nicha Banga Raja Yoga today, but before that, we'll understand what is Raj Yoga. Then we will know. Then, when that happens, when you're having an understanding about the Raja Yoga, then we will have an understanding about Nicha Banga. Then we will learn about the Nicha Banga Raja Yoga. Then it will comes in the streamline of an understanding. Okay, first we understand what is Raja Yoga. Raja, let's understand the meaning. Raja. Raja is usually when you see in the text, they mention it is a Raj Yoga. You can also mention it as a Raj Yoga. In Tamil, we call it as a Raja. Raja means you have the one who has, exact meaning is the king. The one who have the most powerful among everybody. So when you have this Raj Yoga, what is the best thing in comes into your life is you will have the success in various aspects in your life. That's why it's called as a combination of this Raja. Any kind of the Raja Yoga will give you the success in your life. But one thing is about the Raja. Raja is going to give you the powerful in your every aspect in any of your aspect in your life. Okay, understand the word yoga. This is a wonderful meaning. When I learned about this word of the yoga meaning, it takes me to a number of years to understanding. Literally, when I was learning about this yoga, exact yoga, the moment the first translation my teacher told me was, actually, I remember this one. We have to write an exam, so for that, I remember this one line. Then I written in the exam as well. That line goes like this: the yoga is the union of the mind, body, and the soul. And I didn't have an understanding about this union of the mind, body, and the soul for a very, very long time. Okay, the underlying of this story is only one thing. The yoga is the union of something. Union can be anything. When it comes into the perspective of the yoga, where you're practicing as an asana or any kind of an yoga, that comes as the combination of that's a union of something, union of your mind, union of your body with the soul. So some consider it as an union. In order to make it as an easiest way of understanding, consider the word which is a little meaning of the union. The union can be with anything. Now, when in the perspective of the astrology, when the Raja Yoga was mentioned, the yoga here means is a union of the sum of the planets, union of some of the grahas, union of the aspect of the other planets. You have to consider in such a way that the yoga means it is the union of something. When you are taking into that union in the terms of astrology, you have to consider in such a way that union of planets, conjunction of the planets, combination of the planets, aspect of the planets. Okay, this is the basic thing, right? Then we will move on into then move on to the next step. Okay, how come I can easily understand I have the Raja Yoga or not? there are the various type of the Raja Yogas. In some of the books, they said there are the 32 types of the Raja Yoga. One may not able to easily mug up everything, right? But the prominent one is the prominent one which we are going to learn about now. How I can understand I have the Raja Yoga or not? Simple thing. One is find the Kendra houses in your Jataka. In your horoscope, first thing, find the Kendra. What is the Kendra? No?
1, 4, 7, 10.
1, 4, 7. Find the Trikona. That is the Dharma Trikona. Dharma Trikona means yours Trikona. There are the various Trikonas we learned, right? In the early days. We have to see only the Trikona, which is for you only, self. That means 1, 5, 9. So first thing what you have to find in your horoscope, find the Kendra, find the Trikona. Okay, first step is finished. 1, 4, 7, 10, 1, 5, 9. Okay, I find the Kendra, I find the Trikona. What I have to find it? Find the house lord. Who's the lord of the first house? Who's the lord of the fourth house? Who's the lord of the 7th, 10th, 5, and 9? Find the lords of the Kendras, find the lords of the Trikonas. Okay, first step is
Vanita, you are saying 1, 4, 7. We have to start from one from Lagna.
1 from Lagna. When I mention 1, it means Lagna only.
Lagna, okay.
1 means
We are
Lagna.
taken about Sima Lagna.
1 is
So
Lagna.
now we are, for example, you are taking Sima Lagna. Here.
Yeah. Then that means your Simha, from the Simha Rashi, 1 starts. So here, let's go with this example itself. Simha Lagna 1, and the 4 becomes the Vrikshaka, 7th becomes the Kumbha, 10th becomes the Rishabha.
Yeah.
When you say this, the Lord of the Kendra, how you can find who's the Lord of the Simha?
So Simha
Sun.
is Sun.
Sun. Who's the Lord of the Vrikshaka?
Vrikshaka is Mars.
Mars.
Who's the Lord of the Kumbha?
Shani.
Kumbha, Shani.
Who's the Lord of the Rishabha?
Rishabha,
Venus.
Venus. That is the 1, 4, 7, 10. So we understand the Kendra who are the Lord of that Kendra also. So we mentioned it's the Sun, Mars, Saturn, Venus. Then we find out the 1, 5, 9. We already know the Sun is the first Simha Rasi, so Sun is the Lord. We already find that. Let's go with the 5th one. This is the Dhanu. Dhanush, who's the Lord?
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Mesha, who's the Lord?
Mars.
Mars. So first thing we find the Kendra Trikona, then we find the lords of the houses. Okay, then here comes the interesting thing. Then we have to find out the lords of the Kendra in Trikona or lords of the Trikona in Kendra. This one you have to find. Okay, consider this is the sample house. Simha Lagna, Guru in the 4th house. Now apply this principle, first rule. Lords of the Kendra in Trikona or lords of the Trikona is in a Kendra. That possibility was here. I used in this example only 1 graha, not more than that. Only 1 graha. Simha Lagna, Guru is in the 4th house. Yes or no?
Yeah.
How it will be? Because the 5th house, Lord is the Guru, who is a Trikona Lord. The Trikona Lord was sitting in the 4th house, which is 4th house is nothing but the Kendra. Okay. Okay. Here we found out only the one possibility. Somebody saying something?
Some noise is coming.
Can you mute everyone? Okay. When the first part was whether the Lord there or we find that. Okay, there was the one more part is also there. What is that? We will learn in the next step. Okay. But here at this point, we have to find out Kendra Lord, Trikona Lord, whether they are in the Lord of the Kendra in Trikona, Lord of the Trikona is in the Kendra. Once we find that, then we find the Graha, right? Okay. One question here, even though the answer was in the slide itself, how you find the strength of the Graha? Here now we have to find the strength of the Jupiter. In your horoscope, how you can find the strength of the Graha?
If we have to calculate it is tough, but I think the chart gives us those values, right?
Tatvala. There is one easiest way, right? You remember the I will show you in the Jagannath Pura. Give me a minute. I will show that in the Jagannath. Okay, it's open up. Okay, let's share the Jagannath Pura. Okay, here comes. Oh, wait, it's not moving. In the strength tab, which you click, there, it's coming up. Okay, wow. There you find consider this is one of the Jadakam. Okay, when you immediately, if you want to find out, okay, there was now I want to find the Graha strength, go to the Shatpala and find the individual strength of the every Graha. Okay, that is an easiest way. Otherwise, you have to calculate. You have to calculate based on the all six aspects. Then you sum up every value. Then you will find out one value. Then based on that, you will understand which graha is in a good strength or in the bad strength. Okay, for this example, this was in a percentage. Let me show which is in the value. It's not comes in value. Okay, here you can see the 1, 2, 3, third one. Everybody can see the Jagannath Hora, right?
Yes.
Okay. There you can see in the last row, the last cell, which is showing the percentage one. Okay. Now we'll see about in the values. Consider it as an example. Among this one, which one is the highest strength?
Jupiter.
Jupiter, right?
Mars.
So the values, what is it? Jupiter. Here in the Shatpala. If you go on the same thing here also, in the percentage wise, you can see here. That's an interesting.
This is wrong, right? Percentage says Mars, but value,
Yeah.
if you see Jupiter is 5.5.
That's why I'm thinking, why? This is the first time I'm seeing like this. I also don't know. Okay, never mind. I will find out why it was happening. Otherwise, my misinterpretation here. But whenever you try to find the Graha strength, you come back and see the value of the Shatbala. Oh, I don't know this one. Why? Okay, let me move on into that's the easiest way. So first thing, what we have to do when we have to find the Kendra Trikona. Let's see the lords which is in the Trikona lords in the Kendra. Once we find that, find the strength of that planet. Just go to the Shatpala, find whether the planet is in the good strength or not. If that all things was tick, 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 then the Raja Yoga, that horoscope will have the Raja Yoga. Okay, this much clear? This is very, very simple Raja Yoga. There are the various types of the Raja Yoga. We'll learn maybe few of the things, otherwise you can learn on it your own. But this is the very basic thing. This much clear? Yes or no?
If there are more than one planet along with Jupiter.
That is the thing. Correct. Okay, here comes the interesting. When that planet which is combined with any of the malefic planet, then the Raja Yoga will be reduced. There is also rules for that. We'll see in the next slide itself. If the aspect of the that graha, consider there was a one graha aspecting more of the malefic planets was aspecting also the Raja Yoga. If conjunct with the combination or with the malefic planets, the Raja Yoga will be reduced. That's why most of the peoples will get confused when they are derive the Raja Yoga from the horoscope, because we missed some of the points. We find out, okay, this Jataka was having the Raja Yoga, but we missed one point. The aspect we will be missed, or else the houses we will be missed. Some of the thing we will be missed. But when you are practicing again and again, maybe it comes to over naturally. We'll see in the next slide how it will be. Okay, this much clear, right? These two steps are clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on into the next one. How we can find out the various Raj Yoga. I will come into the chart later on. We'll see about these points first quickly, then we'll see about this, why I put this chart here. Okay. Kendra Trikona house lords mutually aspecting each other. One Trikona lord as well as the Kendra lord are aspecting each other mutually. That is also give you the Raj Yoga. Kendra Trikona Lord are posited in the same house. This is a wonderful combination. When the Kendra Lord also, Trikona Lord also posited in the same house, that is also give you the tremendous Raj Yoga. But here comes the thing. This is the only one point we learned. But if these two planets was aspected by the malefic planets, then the Raj Yoga will be reduced. And third point was very much interesting. All the benefic in the Kendra and all the malefic in the 3-6-11. This is really rare combination. Some maybe one or two people may have this, but when they have this is the wonderful Raj Yoga combination. All benefics in the Kendra means 1, 4, 7, 10. All the benefic planets was filled, and the malefic planets was in the 3-6-11. Okay. Then the fourth point, if the malefic planets aspect this planet, aspect which planet? The planet which is having the Raj Yoga. That's why we already said that. Then the power of the Raj Yoga will be reduced. If any of the malefic planets was aspecting the Raj Yoga planet, definitely the aspect will be reduced. Okay, this is one of the wonderful combination. Conjunction of the 4th, 5th, 9th, and the 10th houses doesn't afflicted by the malefic planets. If this is what's happening, then it's a wonderful Raj Yoga. There is also one more Raj Yoga will be there when the Atma Karaka and your 5th and the 9th Lord, it's not aspected by the malefic planets. That is also considered as the Raj Yoga. Based on the Atma Karaka also, we can find a Raj Yoga. I didn't mention it here, but you will learn on your own. Based on the Atma Karaka also, you will find out the Raja Yoga from your chart. That was an interesting thing to learn. Atma Karaka, you can already find out in the Jagannath Hora, you can already find out in the AK Atma Karaka. Then find the Atma Karaka in your horoscope. From there, we'll find out the combination. Okay, we'll leave that out now. Okay, one more thing here. The Raj Yoga mostly be based on whatever we seen till now will based on the Lagna, right? There is also the Raj Yoga will be found based on the moon Lagna. From the moon, they will find the Kendra houses, they will find the Trikona houses. From that, they will find the Raj Yoga combination. That is too tricky. That's why I avoided. But if you are interested to learn, go ahead and find it. That will give you the present situation. Current situation of that horoscope, it will give you what are the Raj Yoga currently in their life. Okay, based on the moon. Whatever the things which we learned till now, it's based on your Lagna. This difference you understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 5th and the 9th Lord combined or exchange the places. Then that is a wonderful combination. Okay. Before that, I will tell you one thing. When I say this one, I thought someone will ask you why I mentioned this in this now. 1, 4, 7, 10 is called as the Vishnu places. Okay, Kendra is your Vishnu places. 1, 5, 9 is the Lakshmi places. So the Lagna becomes the Vishnu and the Lakshmi combined. So that means the Jataka, that means the self. So if you want to learn about the wealth and prosperity, you have to combine your houses along with the Kendra, then you will understand your wealth and prosperity easily. Okay, and your luck, work, and the spouse, you have to find the combination with the Kendra. That's why the Kendra and the Trikona combination will play a tremendous role when you find out all about ourselves. Okay, why I put the La Drama Jataka here? Okay, this is some people, in the net, I taken it from the net only, but sometimes I saw the Rama Jataka was a little bit different. How it was different in some horoscope I saw Sun and Mercury together. Otherwise, most of the thing this was same one. Okay, why I showed this Jataka, I will tell you the reason. Okay, let's find out the interesting part here. Okay, maybe it is the wrong one or right one. Keep the doubt aside. Let's see. This one is the Lord Rama Jataka. Okay, now find which one is the Lagna.
Karka.
Karka Lagna, right? Okay. Here, who are the two planets here?
Moon in his own
Chandra
place
and
and Guru.
Moon and the Guru. Okay. Is this the own house for the moon? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. An exalted Jupiter.
Exalted Jupiter, correct? Okay. Jupiter was exalted here. Okay, now we move on. Second house, third house, fourth house. Fourth house is who?
Shani.
Shani. Is this the exalted for Shani or not? Tula. Tula
Yes.
house is exalted, right?
Yes. Yes.
And we'll move on. Ragu. Okay, we'll learn about this Ragu and Ketu in a separate session altogether. So I'm leaving that. Coming into the seventh house, which is Mars. In the Makara,
Debilitated.
Exalted.
exalted. Who said is debilitated? When from next class onwards, we are going to stare the first screen for at least 1 minute. Okay. In the Makara Rasi, Mars is exalted, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Who is depleted here?
Jupiter
Jupiter.
is depleted.
Jupiter. Okay, let's move on. 9 here. Venus is exalted or depleted?
Exalted.
Sun here is exalted or depleted?
Exalted.
Mercury is in the friend's house or the enemy's house?
Shukra. Shukra and Buddha. Yeah, they are friends.
They are friends. Okay. Now let's see all together. When you see this Jatagam, this is the wonderful Raj Yoga, right? Because most of the planets, which is in the exalted position or in the own house, some number of the grahas, this is also one of the Raj Yoga. Interesting Raj Yoga. Why? In any of the horoscope, if the exalted planets is more or the grahas, which is in their own house, is more, then that is also considered as the Raj Yoga. This is the wonderful Raj Yoga. But the peoples will ask why then Rama suffered a lot. Because of this Raja Yoga, Rama was suffered a lot. Because he have that tremendous capacity in him to undergo any kind of the struggles or any kind of an obstacles in his life. Okay, let's move on into
Just one question here, Vanita. So you said Kendra and Trikona house lords are posited in the same house. What if they are not friends? Will it have any effect?
Oh, that was an interesting one. Wait, I will tell you. Wait, give me a second. Where is my first two? Okay, here. Okay, give me an example. Okay, why I ask you to giving an example, right? I will tell you the reason also. When we say this, the combination which you said, it comes is very rare, but it will come, but on only one or the other combination only. It's a kind of literally a match. The Kendra, which is in the 14710, Trikona, which is in the 159. This combination, when they are posited in the enemy's house, definitely their energy will be reduced. The Raj Yoga which they're going to give will be reduced. How it will reduce, we'll see that in the later lessons. But when it was in the enemy's house, definitely their energy was not expanded. The energy was stressed or squeezed. It was like when it was like consider a normal person when you are sitting in a favorable place, or when you are sitting in your own house, or sitting in your friend's house, you feel like you are most comfortable, right? But
Yeah.
when you are sitting in your enemy's house, you feel like you are stressed. You won't expand at all. You won't give full energy. The same thing goes for the graha as well. When it was in the enemy's house, the energy will be reduced. The yoga is also reduced. That's why when you quickly see the horoscope, we can find out, okay, they have the Raja Yoga, but one or the other point we missed. They may be sitting in the enemy's house. They may be expected by the enemy planet. That's why the yoga will be reduced drastically.
Vinita, I have a question. This Raj Yoga is throughout your life or for certain periods?
Oh, that okay. There are the some of the yogas which come mostly it is based on your dasha buddhi only. Based on which dasha you are undergoing, which the buddhi was undergoing, this Raj Yoga will perform efficiently. But some of the Raj Yogas may come along with your way. There are the people who will stay born with the Dana Yoga for the entire life. But most work on the dasha buddhi, based on which dasha the jataka was undergoing, based on that buddhi. Mostly the buddhinathan will work efficiently, but it was controlled by the dasha. So considered, yeah, any point in time, know your dasha, know your buddhi. Dasha buddhi, if you know that DBA, you know. D means dasha, B means buddhi, A means anta. If you know this one, and then you see your horoscope, everything will be matched easy.
Nita, fifth and ninth lord, where is here? Fifth and
What is
ninth
it?
lord. Fifth and ninth lord, where in this horoscope?
Oh,
Fifth and
here,
ninth lord.
here.
Fifth and ninth lord.
Uh,
Here, for
Hmm.
example, in Rama Jataka, you said where is fifth and ninth lord?
Rama Jataka, why
Fifth
5th and 9th Lord?
fifth
Oh,
and
no,
ninth.
no, no. Rama
Ah.
Jataka, I show it in a reason. Why? Because there is also one more Rajayoga will be mentioned saying that if any of the Jataka having number of exalted planets, at least 3 or more exalted planets, or 3 or more planets which is in their own house, it is considered as a Raj Yoga.
Okay.
There was
No,
one
no.
more. This all one of the you can consider as the rules, you can consider as a guideline. This is one of the guideline for finding a Raj Yoga. When the people were seeing the Lord Rama, every astrologer was they see it was the gift from the universe, because that was a wonderful combination whenever you see the Rama Jataka. Because number of the planets which is in the exalted position are at least in their own house. That's why this horoscope is considered as the Raj Yoga Jataka.
So even in their own house, or even in their own house and exalted, either
Yes.
or both,
But the number should be more.
3
It
or
should be
more.
at least 3 or more, or 4 or more, at least 3 or more. Then it is
Okay.
considered as the Raj Yoga.
Yeah, Vinita, 1 minute, just show the screen prior to this. I have a question there. It says to check the strength. Yes. It says find strength of planet. Which planet? Which planet are we talking?
Okay, here. Now we'll see for this the sample one. For the example one, I found is the Simha Lagna as an example. The only one graha I made it is the which is in the Vrishika Rasi, that is in the 4th house. Okay. Once we find out the Lord of the Kendra, Lord of the Trikona, we understand Jupiter is the Trikona Lord. Correct? 5th Lord is the Jupiter, which is in the 4th house, which is the Kendra house. So what is that meaning? Trikona Lord, which is in the Kendra. Okay. Then
So
we have to find the strength of the Jupiter. How you can find the strength of the planet? Go and see in the.
I got it. Yeah. Thank you, Vinita.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. Isn't this Mars is also Yoga Karaka, Raja Yoga for this? Because it's a lot of 4th and 9th.
Why you see? Oh, here. If the 4 and 9, suppose in case Mars was placed here, then that is also becomes the Raj Yoga. Yes.
Also, it has to be in that position. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. The first statement saying that, right? Lord of the Kendra in the Trikona, or Lord of the Trikona in the Kendra. This is the basic combination of finding Raj Yoga. There are the different types where you can find the Raj Yoga. Okay, once you have an understanding about this Raj Yoga, right? Then when the next week we'll learn about the Nicha Banga, yoga. Then another week we'll find out the Nicha Bhanga Raj yoga. Then we will understand the streamlining of how we will find out the yoga. After that, you will find n number of yogas on your own itself. Is that good?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now we'll getting into our today's lesson, that is the Saturn in SIVA. Okay, as usual, first let's see the Panchabuddha principle. Then once we understand, grabbing or understanding about the 5 element principle, then understanding about the Saturn in the SIVA will be much easier. Okay. From the Kala Purusha, SIVA becomes the 5th position. Agni is the element, fixed in nature. It comes into the staras, Stira Rasi. Stira means it will be very much stable and they're fixed in nature. And male energy is the prominent one. And sun is the lord of the house is the sun, or owner of the house is the sun. Under the sun, in the house of the sun, there was no planet is exalted, no planet is the depleted, because he's the king of the he's the king. So no one under his house, no one will be exalted, no one will be depleted. The people whenever in what you can derive from this 5 element principle was fire element and the fixed in nature. Okay, these people, so when they get angry, they will hold their angry for a very long time. They won't leave the grudge that easily. They will hold the anger for a very long time. Same time, their energy level is if any of the jataka which is if any of in the jataka in the horoscope, if the Simha having the good planet posited in it, and it was not the Padakadipati for them, then this will place on wonderful miracle in their life. Why? Because the Agni is the fire element. It will gives their energy to proceed further in their life. Okay, this is one point. This is the positive point. Then fire element will gives you an energy to move forward in their life fearlessly. But at the same time, if they get angry, if they got any negative emotions, they will be they withhold that emotion for a very long time. Okay, let's move on into the if the Saturn was in the Simha, consider Saturn was in the Simha Rasi, then what all the things will be have to be considered, or what are the things going to be happen? Okay, now first question: Saturn and the Sun, friends or enemy?
Enemy.
Enemy. Okay, when the Saturn was sitting in the sun's house, that is in the story wise, Sun and the Saturn are the father, but the Saturn treat his father as an enemy. Okay, but when the Saturn was sitting in the father's house, definitely Saturn won't be comfortable. He feels so much stress and he feels discomfort in every way, and the Saturn which is not happy when it was sitting in the Simha. Okay, based on this understanding, we'll see the point one by one. These peoples are the self-made persons. Why? Because this, when there was a fire element was there, including with the fixed element, fixed in nature, the male energy will give you the tremendous strength in your life to make you a self-made person. Okay, this point is very much possible. If the Saturn was in the Simha, definitely they won't get the support from their father. And that too, if the Saturn was in the Simha and the Simha Rasi becomes your Vatakadipati, then this will becomes the whole true in their life. They won't get any help from the father. They won't get any benefit from their father. Definitely, they won't find any kind of the father figure in their life. Definitely, the father and the son, or a father and the daughter relationship may not be in a good way. Because of the Saturn which is sitting in the Simha Rasi, Saturn basic thing, what is it? Saturn follows the Dharma. Saturn always belongs to the discipline. Saturn always belongs to the hard working. Even though the Saturn was described physically very ugly in every ugly way, if you see the description of the Saturn, how the Saturn will look like in physically, you will have then a bad understanding about the Saturn. But then naturally, when the Saturn nature of the Saturn will be discipline, hard work, and all the time it follows the dharma. So justice is the main principle for the Saturn. That's why they definitely work hard in their life. Okay, this point is very much interesting. Why? The Saturn is work very hard. That is the behavior of the Saturn. But where it was sitting, it is sitting in the sun and in the sun's house. Who's the sun? The sun is an administrator. Definitely, these people have an aim or ambition to find the leadership role in their life. Even though they work in the different environments or they are not working, but definitely they will find the leadership in their life. And because of that, they're interesting in the creative fields. This is the combination of the sun and the Saturn. This one also, sun and the Saturn. Because of that, creative fields. Why this one was coming? Interest in the creative fields. If anyone was saying Saturn plus sun, how they becomes the creative fields. Interest in creative fields. Why this one was coming? Anyone have an idea? Why?
It is also attributed to the 5th house according to Kalapurusha chart.
Yeah, correct. You have to mix with the sun significance also, but I want to understand why. Because of the sun only, but why the sun and the Saturn combination? The Saturn is on the top, sun is underneath, so you have to combine it together. That's why this one line was coming interest in the creative fields. But why? What is that significance of the sun? Remember about the sun significance. No? Okay. Sun is a very good dreamer. If the people who have the sun in a very good position, definitely they dream about anything. Definitely they had a very well in the daydreaming. Because of that, their creativity intensity will be high. When combined with their Saturn, they are hardworking plus the creative skills combined together. Okay. All together in one line, they are the very good strategic planner. Okay, this much clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, we'll move on. Okay. Now I'm going with the speed because you already know how you have to find out when the Saturn was in the Lagna, when the Saturn was in the second house, when the Saturn was in the third house, fourth house, fifth house. You have to combine that principle. How you have to combine? Saturn is the planet which is in the Simha. From the Kalapurusha, it is the fifth. But the Saturn, the planet which is in the Rashi, you have to consider it first. Remember, whenever the Kalapurusha position will come as a second only. That is for your confirming position or supporting point only. But whenever the planet was in any of the Rashi, you have to consider that one as a priority. Okay. First, you have to find out Saturn was in which position, which house. Okay, then you find out Saturn was in the first, second, or any of the 12 houses. Then you understand what are the aspect of the 1, 2, 3, 12 houses. Okay, then you will move on. Is there any malefic planet was respecting that or not? So once you find that any benefic planets were respecting that or not, okay, you're done. Then you move on into is there the Badakadipati or Maranakaraka? Saturn was the Maranakaraka or the Ashtamadipati or the Badakadipati. If this one was you understand clearly, then we will move on. Then you will come into the conclusion what the Saturn was playing the role in this particular house. This much clear, or I'm going very fast?
You're
No?
going fast.
Okay, I will go slowly. See, consider this one is the first lagna. Okay, now the Saturn was in the first house. So now how you are going to find out this is the point which you have to remember all the time. When the Saturn and the Sun combination was happening, this point will come into your mind automatically. Okay. But consider the situation. Now this person is the Simha Lagna, Saturn was placed in it. Okay, first point. Now we have to find out any of the planet was aspecting the Lagna. Okay, consider the situation. There was a Jupiter was here. Jupiter was aspecting the Lagna. For the example sake, I didn't include the planet. So for this one, Jupiter was aspecting the Lagna in the sun's house, even though the Saturn was in the enemy's house, aspected by the Jupiter gave the auspicious strength to the Saturn. So the Lagna, who is the cell, will be benefited from the aspect of the Jupiter. Okay, then once you find this, the aspect, first thing what you find, which house in it, then you find the aspect of that. When it comes into an aspect, you have to see whether the malefic planets was aspecting or benefic planet was aspecting. Okay. So once you find this one, then you have to find out for this one, for this particular chart, this one was the Simha. Who's the Ashtamadhipati for this?
Guru.
Guru, correct? This is the 8th house. So Guru is the Ashtamadhipati, but he is in the 7th house. Leave that story aside. Okay. So the Saturn was aspected by the Ashtamadhipati. Here comes the interesting thing. Okay. Even though the Guru was the auspicious planet, but when it was aspecting, it will definitely give you the good benefit in your life. Okay. But the Guru becomes the Ashtamadhipati also. Definitely the auspiciousness will be reduced a little bit. Then we'll find out is the Marana Karaka Sthana. Okay. What is the Marana Karaka for the Simha Lagna? Anybody?
Buddha.
Sure. How you find out the Marana Karaka Sthana? Sun is in the 12th house, Moon is in the 8th house, Mars is in the 7th house, Mercury 4, Jupiter 3, Venus 6, Saturn 1. Saturn is already in the Marana Karaka Sthana, correct? Ketu 4, Rahu 9. You remember this one, right?
Yeah.
When the Saturn was in the Lagna, the Saturn becomes the Marana Karaka. Okay. So what is that meaning? When the Saturn was in the enemy's place, in addition to that Marana Karakasthana, Ashtamadhipati was looking, definitely life become very stressful, struggle. But they have this quality, because of this quality, they will come over that. This is when we are telling about the Lagna. Okay, now see this, now see the difference here. When I move, considered, this is the second house. This person is the Kadaka Lagna, and the Saturn was in the second house. Saturn was in the second house, Lagna was the Kadaka Lagna. So the same points will be applicable, but you have to apply this in the money aspect, because that second is the Dhanasthana, yes or no?
Yeah. Right.
So you have family, money, wealth. You have to apply this one into this aspect in the individual's life. So they will get, Sun is in the second house, but that too in the enemy's house. They will get the money easily? Possibly no. They have to work hard to find the money, to find the income flow, to find the cash flow in their life. They have to work very hard. They maybe get the benefit from the maybe when they are working in the creative field, or when they are working in any kind of the creative industry, they will gain more income. But even though they have to work hard in their life, they may not get any kind of the monetary benefit from their father or any help from father like peoples. Definitely they have to be work on their own. So once we understand this point, before that also what do you have to do? We understand the Saturn is the second house. We know what is this second house is for: family, wealth, and the money. Then you have to see what are the planets which is aspecting this Saturn. So first thing, which house? We already noticed in the second house. Saturn. Is there any planets was combining with that? We have to understand. We have to consider that also. For the example sake, we understand there was only one planet, that is Saturn, which is in the second house. So then we have to see, is there any planets was aspecting the Saturn or not? Okay. Now let's for an example. Okay, let's see. Mars was here. Mars was aspecting Saturn. Okay. So Mars is aspected by the malefic planet, which is in the second house. Then what is that will become? We have to understand if the Mars is in the good position or not. Mars is in the Kumbha, which is in the Saturn. Saturn and the Mars are the friends or enemy?
Friends.
Then you will consider it as the Mars is in a good house. This is the 1 point is enough to find.
Enemy.
Yeah, that is what. Okay, wait. Here is the point. If this is the 1 point, we can find out the planet which is sitting in the friend's house or enemy's house, find the strength of the planet? No. Why? Once we find out the friends and the enemy, then we have to find out which house it was. So now this becomes the 8th house. Yes or no? No?
Yeah. 8, 7.
7, 3, 4,
Eight
5.
from
Sorry,
Kataka.
from 8th house. 8, sorry.
Correct.
I thought Lagna was
Lagna was in the Kadaka.
Kataka. Sorry. Yeah.
The 8th house. So the Mars is in the 8th house and aspecting the Saturn, which means the Ashtama, the planet which is in the 8th house was aspecting the Saturn. Then we have to see, this is the one interesting point here. Why? Who's the Ashtamadipati here?
Shanishwar.
Sunny. The planet which is in the Ashtamadipati, 8th house, aspecting the Ashtamadipati itself. Okay, here is the interesting thing. The Mars, which is in the 8th house, aspecting the Ashtamadipati only. So the Saturn is already a Ashtamadipati. It's going to give you the obstacles in your life. He's sitting in the second house, which is for your Dhanasthana. And the Mars was aspecting you. Mars is the malefic planet. Okay, this one will see this energy will see that in the next class, but we will understand Mars is the malefic planet aspecting the another malefic planet. Here,
But Mars is also the Trikonadipati. It's the 5th house lord.
exactly. The Trikonadipati, but the Saturn was in the second house only, right? Okay, wait. Let's go with the number. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now you have to consider 1, 4, 7, 10. Okay, then 1, 5, 9. Saturn may come if the Saturn comes in the Kendra, but the Saturn was not placed in the Kendra. Saturn placed in the second house. You got this point?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
1, 4, fourth one is the moon. Moon is the Lord. Fourth, which is in the Shukra, and the 7 is the Sunny, and the 10 is the Mesha, Mars. So here the Saturn may come if it was placed in the 159, then that will give you the Raj Yoga. But here the Saturn was placed in the second house. But there was also one more rule will be there. If the second house Lord have any kind of relationship or sambandha between the 5th and the 9th house, then that is also form of one more Raj Yoga. But that I didn't mention. But this is also one of the Raj Yoga. When you see this, the second house Lord, you have to find out is there any kind of an combination or sambandha with the 5th and the 9th Lord. Who's the 5th Lord here? 5th Lord is the Mars, right? and the ninth lord is the Jupiter. So we have to find out the reason if the Mars and the Jupiter was having any kind of the sambandha with the Saturn. Yes. Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because the Mars, which is in the fifth and the 10th lord, who placed in the eighth house, which is in the Saturn's wounds house, that is having a sambandha with the Saturn, which is in the second house. I'm going fast, I know. This one, this much clear, or I'm really going fast?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, however, if a malefic is in a dusthana, would its malefic effect not reduce?
Reduced, definitely reduced. If the two malefics was combined together, that's what we will see in the next week, Nicha Banga. Then the malefic will be cancel each other. Then the malefic is also reduced drastically. Yes, that will be there. Okay, I thought I don't want to say this because this one will lead you into more complexity. Then we will understand. Okay, the astrology is
We
may
are
not.
we are already thoroughly confused.
Oh my God. Okay, erase everything.
Wait, I want you to sorry. I want you to repeat what is Ashtama Adhipati. I slipped my mind.
Oh, okay, okay. Eighth house lord is the Ashtamadhipat. Ashtam, eight, no?
Okay.
Nava, Ashtam, Nava, Dasami.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Ashtam
Eight.
is eight. Adhipati, owner of the house. Eighth, the house owner. The word was different. Don't get scared with the words. Ashtamadhi means eighth house lord.
Okay. Eighth house lord is placed in seventh, is it?
Oh, yes, yes. Ashtamadhipati, which is in the Mars, which is in the Saturn's house. Ashtamadhipati is the Saturn. Saturn is in the second position. Okay, leave it everything. I'll make it as a very simple. Okay, whatever we discussed till now, erase it everything. We'll make it as very simple. Okay, don't go for that much. We'll go slowly. Okay, consider this one point only. Whenever this point, remember all the time. When the Saturn and the Sun combined, you just keep it at least 1 or 2 points. Okay, how you can remember this one? That's why I ask you to remember the story of the Sun and the Saturn. Saturn and the Sun, basically, Saturn shows, treat the Sun as the enemy. Most of the time, all the time, Saturn considered enemy as an enemy as the Sun as his enemy, own enemy. Because of ill treating his mother or ill treating him, he considered his father as his only enemy. So that's why he went far away from his father and lives in a very not in a palace. It was like a deserted area or not in a good condition area. He living in that place because he want to go far away from his father. He don't want his any help or he don't want to be under the shadow of his father. The Saturn went away. Okay, this was one point. Remember all the time this story. So once that story was comes in your mind and combined the five elements, the principle, then this point will be easily remember in your mind. This much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat it once again, Vanita? Sorry.
Okay, first thing, consider the now we are seeing the Saturn and the Sun. Who's the Simha? Simha is the Sun. We are seeing the Saturn and the Sun. When we see the Saturn and the Sun placing in when the Saturn was placing in the Sun's house, so that means Saturn entered into the enemy's house. Why Sun is treated as an enemy? We have to remember that story. Sun, I mean, Surya is the father of the Saturn. Sanishwaran father is the Sun. When the Surya, but the Saturn is the birth mother was the Chaya, Chaya and the Sun. The story goes like this. Surya and the Sandhya marry each other. They gave birth to the sons and they gave birth to the children. But the Sandhya was not able to live along with the Surya because of the tremendous heat emitting from him. She was not able to withhold that heatness. So she went to the Tapasya. But in order to avoid the absence of his during the tapasya, what she did, she created the exact duplicate of that, like from her shadow. So that that is the creation of the chaya. Then the chaya was living with the Surya. Sandhya went into tapasya to gain the strength in order to live with the Surya again. But in the meantime, Chaya gave birth to the Sanishwaran. When Sandhya heard this news, she come back and she destroyed the Chaya and started living the life with the Surya. But Surya, even though she understand everything, what are the things happened behind him, but she didn't she didn't do anything. But instead, what happened one time when there was the conversation between the Sandhya and the Shanishwaran, one point in time Shanishwaran get angry and he hit his Sandhya, not his mother, but she is the Surya's wife. But when this incident was witnessed by the Surya got very angry and she injured the leg of the Saturn, I mean Sanishwaran. Because of that, she got more angry with his father. Saturn didn't like his father because Saturn felt his father did injustice to him because she didn't do any kind of the justice between the Sandhya and the Sanishwaran. Even though she witnessed whatever he did, but he didn't inquire anything. He gave the punishment immediately to the Saturn. Because of that, Saturn get very much angry, and from there onwards, he considered Surya as his own enemy. That's why he don't like his father. He went far away. Saneshwaran went very, very far away. The place is not a palace, but he want to go very much far away from his father's place. Surya was living in a very good palace, but Saturn was not living in a palace. He was living in a very deserted area. It's not even good for the living being. So that was a story about the Saturn. When you combined this knowledge, that the story with the fire element principle. What is the fire element principle? Simha is the fire element fixed in nature, male energy, and there was no planet exalted depleted. So there is the sun's domination is entirely in the Simha Rasi. At this point, the Saturn was placed in this Jataka means Saturn was sitting in the enemy's house. So when you combine this together, you will easily remember this point. This much clear?
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay. Then when I say when there was considered this is the Lagna, what I'm trying to say here was Saturn and the Leo combination can come in your house, can come any of the horoscope. It may be in your first house, it may be in your second house, third house, fourth house, till the 12th house. This can be your 1 to 12 houses, right? What I'm trying to say here was, let's take an example of the Saturn in the Lagna. First thing, if the Saturn Simha is the Lagna, Saturn was placed in. First thing, what you have to see, which house it was placed in it. We understand it was in the Lagna, first position. First position means Jataka. Then second thing is the planet which is in the enemy's house, friend's house. Saturn was sitting in the enemy's house. Then we have to see where the sun was placed in it. If the enemy was placed, we are sitting in the enemy, but we have to understand how the enemy's strength was. If the enemy was placed in a good position or bad position. So that one we have to find out. First thing, which house it was. Then how the owner of the house, because the Saturn was sitting in the sun's house, we have to understand who is the owner, what is the strength of the owner. Once we understand this point, then we will move on into the third one. What are the planets aspecting the Lagna? Because why? We are in the first house. So we have to see first house, what are the planets was aspecting? We have to go with the malefic planet. Is there any malefic planets was aspecting or benefic planets was aspecting? Once we had this understanding, then we will move on into the fourth point. Fourth point, what we have to see is that what is the Marana Karaka for this one? If the Saturn was in the Lagna, means Saturn becomes your Maranakaraka. Correct? First thing, Maranakaraka Sthana. Once you find that one, then we'll move on into the Bhataka Sthana. So once you find that Bhataka Sthana, we'll moving in into the any of the planet was any of the planet which is okay, leave that one until this 5. Okay, let me see. Until this 5 point was clear.
Yes.
Okay, this is for the Lagna. Okay, now we'll see about the second house. Consider this person is the Kadaka Lagna and the Saturn was in the second house. So what we have to see, the same procedure. Which house Saturn? Saturn was in the second house. Then we have to understand who's the owner. Owner is the sun. Then we have to understand the strength of the sun, whether it is in the sun is in a good position, bad position, everything. So once you find that, then we'll move on into the aspect. Is there the benefic planets was aspecting or malefic planet was aspecting? So once you understand that one, okay, remember one thing. In the process, find out if any of the planets which is in the Moola Trikona or not. We considered if the sun was here, and if the sun is also placing here. Consider the sun is also in his own house. Is the sun is in the Moola Trikona or not? No?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes, right? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
in the
Yes.
process, we have to find out if the planets was when you finding out the owner, find out this also. Is the owner was in the Moola Trikona. If the owner was suspected by the good planets, malefic planets, or malefic or benefic planets. Okay, the fourth point, Maranakaraka. Because the Saturn now is not the Maranakaraka, because Saturn now is in the second house. Then you have to find out is there any planet was in the Maranakaraka sthana? Okay, then fifth one, which is the Bhataka sthana. So, who is the Bhatakadipati for this Lagna, Kadaka Lagna? So once you find all this aspect, then finally sixth one, go and find out any of the Raj Yoga which is come directly into your eyes, or if you didn't find anything, leave it. It will come on your own, but it will take time. Okay, this point will come later on. Okay, but in the meantime, before you finding this Raj Yoga, the sixth point will be you have to find out the Kendra first. You have to find out the Trikona first. Once you understand this one, then you will move on into the one of the process of finding the Raj Yoga. This point is clear?
Yes.
Okay, looks like I believe you everybody understand.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay, great. Okay, one more thing. The same principle applies for all 12 houses. When the Saturn was placed, and now I erase this one. Okay. Okay, now consider the Saturn was placed here. Again, it was in the 1, 2, 3. Why? Okay, Kadaka Lagna. This is in the third house. So if I'm correct only, right? Kadaka Lagna.
Aren't we discussing only if Saturn is in Leo? Should be Mithuna Lagna.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Correct. Yeah. Then, yeah, correct. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah. So if it was in the Mithuna Lagna and Saturn is in the third house, apply the same principle again. Apply the 5 points to find out what the status of the Sun. Saturn was in the third house. When you are applying in the third house, what are the third house significance? What the third house will be?
Brother, communication.
Brotherhood, your communication. Basically, it will come, your siblings will comes into the third house. So you apply whatever the things which you're seeing here, apply that on the significance of that house. This much clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
will go on like this to 12 houses. Okay, the same thing. Okay, we'll quickly sneak peek into the Virgo, then we'll continue the Virgo from the next week. Okay, but before that, we'll quickly see that. Oh no, it's 6-6. Okay, we'll see the Virgo from the next week onwards. I thought of at least 2 today. Okay, my mistake. Okay, till now, any questions? No,
No.
that's awesome. Okay, I'll see you all next week then.
Right, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
See you all next week.
Thank you. Bye.